Previously on Balls.
PGA cap for Stephen.
Yes, Stephen.
Number 2 in the bag, boss.
There we go, eh?
Yeah, and gee, I mean, and it's not just number 2 in the bag. It's not like the tournament before you guys were sort of, pushing and come second or something. I mean, we can say it. The tournament before, we thought you guys, the 7 side suddenly were nowhere, and then suddenly come back with a bang, bang, Tokyo, win it. I mean, is it the coolest places? Is that where you guys want to win?
No, I think it's because of the competitiveness of the competition at this stage. I think a few years when I joined Sevens, you always had your first 2 easy pool games and then a hard third pool game, and then you'd go off to your playoffs the next day. But it's changed so much now that your first 3 games on day 1 are probably just as hard as your 3 games on day 2.
Yeah, and look, I mean, also the chances are that half you guys spend most of the time in the South Stand in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, you're keeping your eyes on that stand the whole time, so it's difficult to check what's going on the field.
It's distracting. What was the vibe like in Hong Kong, just as a matter of interest? Is it the same as it's? I mean, I don't know how many you've been to, but is it still such a vibe in that South Stand, and is it just a big party?
Well, I think it was a bit overwhelming for me, because it was my first time, experiencing something like that, it's nothing like anything else on the circuit. So I was blown away by everything and the way things happen, and the queues like outside the stadium and the amount of people inside the stadium and the noise on the field. It's just incredible, eh?
And I mean, when you started playing rugby at school, where were you at school, by the way?
Grey High.
Grey? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, Grey PE.
What is it, Johnny? I mean, everyone we talked to went to Grey High, Johnny, but we never run out of people to talk to. I mean, how many Grey High Springboks and national players has Grey High produced? And then you get John Walland, who's the complete opposite. But I mean, as a schoolboy playing rugby, surely every schoolboy growing up doesn't grow up to play 7. So you sort of have these visions of grandeur of being a Springbok in the 15-man game, and it might still be one for you as well. But never have thought that you'd now be travelling to all these cool places playing 7s rugby for the Springboks.
Oh, well, I think that's the thing about 7s, going to places that you never thought you'd ever see. Going to Japan, Tokyo, Japan, Hong Kong, Dubai, those places to play rugby. So it's pretty awesome. I was in the 15s code game playing for Western Province, but then moved on to 15 into 7s.
And what is the future like for you now? Do you just stick with 7s now, or do you hope at some stage to sort of step back over again to because you wouldn't be the first one? I mean, great players like Brayton Paulson and Bob Skinstad and guys like that, honed their game at 7s and were successful 15-men play in the end. Yeah.
It all depends, what comes up from here. But I've really enjoyed 7s. I've been there for the last 3 or 4 seasons. So for me at this stage, I'm really enjoying it, and we'll just see what comes up.
All right, now what happened between Hong Kong and Tokyo? Did Paul get all serious with you guys? Was there some serious soul searching from it, or was it just a case of, listen, guys, business as usual? As you explained it to us, it's one of those games where one week you're the cock of the hoop, and the next week you're a feather duster. It's just the nature of the game.
Yeah, well, I was chatting to some of the guys, like Matthew Turner in the English team, and they were just saying that it's exactly the same for them, that the competition has just changed so much throughout the years that, you don't actually know where you stand in the tournament, when it starts. So it's difficult to say what actually happened, what did we change, because nothing really changed. We just basically came out from day 1 of the competition in Tokyo and just perform better, and I don't know, it's very, very difficult.
Well, also, it wasn't just a procession for you guys either. I mean, you guys were quite comfortably up against France, I think, and that was a key game for you because they started coming back, and I think you eventually won it by, 2 points or something?
Yes, it was 14-12.
So, I mean, that could have been a completely different story if they'd managed to sneak in, but kudos to you guys. You held on in that game and got into the playoffs in the Cup competition, which eventually went on to winning against the old enemy, the New Zealanders, which was fantastic.
Yeah. You see, it's very difficult playing against teams like France, Spain, Portugal, because they play the same kind of rugby, which is very similar to more of a 15s code game where they really come at the racks and they really bash it up, and it's more of a grinding game than a flowing 7s game. So you've always got to prepare yourself for a game like France and that kind of thing, where Fiji, Samoa, those guys, they just want to play the ball and just spread it.
Awesome stuff. Where are you right now, Steve?
I'm at home in Stellenbosch.
You're in Stellenbosch.
Yes.
All right. I mean, this is Ball's visual radio, but we don't only add the visual side of it and the audio side, obviously, as you know, radio. But we also appeal to all the senses. I mean, in the background, surely you can hear that high-felt thunderstorm about to break or breaking.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on our heads.
Where else do you get that on radio, hey, where you can actually hear the weather outside?
So, Steve, how many of you, well, I know Joe Peterson lives in Stellenbosch. You're there. I know Flo used to live there, Francois Lowe. Who else is around town?
Well, I'm not too sure with the 15th guys, but I live with Chris Dry and Mark Richards, who are also part of the 7th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. A hell of a good town as well. Stellenbosch is just fantastic. I was there earlier this year.
Yeah. Free Wi-Fi.
You should be here now. It's beautiful, eh?
Is it?
Awesome. Were you talking about the weather or the first-year students?
Both. Getting ready for the Varsity Cup final.
Yeah, so that's on Monday, eh?
That's Monday.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it's going to be a sea of maroon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I can't wait. That stadium is going to be crazy.
Going to be pumping. Stephen, it's lekker to chat to you, man. Boss, all the best.
Yes.
Congrats on Tokyo and good luck for the rest. Where's the next stop now?
I think Scotland,
London, it's Scotland and London, yeah.
Yeah,
next
the
two.
1 week after the next. Well, let's go and
Yes.
finish it off with a bang. Go and win the next two as well, and that'll be a nice way to finish the year.
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome stuff. Stephen, nice chatting to you,
Cheers,
bud. All the best, eh?
You too. Thanks so much for the call.
Pleasure, man.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
Bye. Stephen Hunt.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za